So just give us a quick intro into Global OTEC.
Yeah, so at Global OTEC, we build ocean heat pumps. So all of that excess heat building up in the ocean, we take that out and we turn it into baseload clean energy.
Tell us a little bit how you got into that.
Oh, wow. How long you got? So I have a very unconventional background. More people are finding out about this lately. I used to work in luxury fashion, lots of late nights selling very expensive dresses to the world's richest people. But something really wasn't clicking about that to me in my life. And it took a epiphany moment watching David Attenborough's Frozen Planet, episode 7, On Thin Ice, which documents the ice caps cascading into the ocean. So quite dramatically, I quit my job. I moved back into my parents' box room and started to kind of work on what is going to hold my attention for 10 years and make a difference in the world. So started researching into kind of water technologies, created a blog called futuredesalination.com and was just kind of writing in very simple terms about breakthroughs in things like electrodialysis and graphene. And that's where I came across OTEC, Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion. And I kept on pulling at the thread at that. And I was just like, why is this not a household word? And I think since then I've done a fair amount of work in addressing that, but it's also a commercial opportunity first. So building that as a business has been a thrill of a lifetime so far.
Just tell us where you're up to now in terms of the stage the company's at.
Yes, we're at a seed stage, conventionally in the VC vernacular. In the last couple of years, we've been very light on capital, very efficient. So we've raised just over £1 million to date, but also raised a massive grant from Horizon Europe. That's allowed us to build our ocean-based structural prototype in the Canary Islands. That kind of de-risks how we deploy our infrastructure in tropical storm zones. And we've also modeled the performance of our ocean heat pump using a real-world plant that's pumping ocean water, grid connected, and that gives us all of the thermodynamic states for our system. So this round is about bringing those things together with our first commercial scale operation.
Tell us a bit about the marine energy sector then, because you touched on that earlier. How is that growing? Why is it quite an exciting space to be?
Yeah, so the marine sector is a difficult place to be. Everything in the ocean is hard and expensive. There's no getting away from that. But there are a lot of new technologies coming along that are making the kind of conventional and cumbersome ways of doing things a lot more cheaper, a lot more safer, and de-risking them. So a lot of uncrewed operations, vessels and sensors are removing the need of having kind of humans interfacing in marine energy systems. So I think where the challenge has been is that the reputation of the wave sector over, say, maybe a 15-year period has been quite negative in terms of the economics, and the technical breakthroughs have been quite slow. We bring a marine technology that doesn't use wave. It uses just the ocean's natural thermocline between warm surface seawater and cold deep water. So we're actually closer to a waste heat recovery plant than we are a wave energy conversion system. So I think there's a lot of education, especially with investors, about the differences between different categories of marine energy, but the tide is turning.
What excites you about the next year?
What excites me about the next year is always about just seeing the idea of the 3D model become physical. So we had the absolute honour kind of towards the end of last year of seeing our steel structure in the Canary Islands complete and lifted out into the ocean, and now actually taking our ideas into the generation of kilowatt hours is what keeps me going.
Mm-hmm. And I guess what's wonderful about the whole sector is that you're trying to solve an urgent problem, and there's a real purpose behind that must keep you going, because it is hugely challenging creating technology, getting it tested. So that must be quite a motivation.
It is. I think the motivation is that I've been doing this for some years now, and I'm not seeing the competing technologies to what OTEC can do come into play. People have been talking about solar and batteries or wind being, the conventional solution. So why won't people just use them? And I've really seen that our customers have been quite stagnant with their deployment of new technologies. They remain reliant on diesel and gas, mostly imports, and that for them just creates more urgency around this problem.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dan.